Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for Steve Arts89. I wasn't really planning to do another video on Discovery today, but I was just having a think because I was thinking about some of the videos other people did and some other people's opinions, and I just had to sort of say I just don't care anymore. I'm not like Doomcock. I can't maintain the hate and the rage. Like a lot of people are. It's not who I am. I'm not a hateful, angry person. Some people live on hate and anger and having enemies and people. That's how they focus and that's their drive in life in general, to find enemies and people like that. That's not who I am. I used to be a social justice warrior back in the day before I knew what that was. Then I sort of went to the dark side and became a bit of a hater for a while. And I've just sort of pitted out into this sort of middle ground where I can actually listen to both and realize that the left have opinions that are valid, the right have opinions that are valid, and neither of them are evil. The extreme left and extreme right kind of are, and they ruin everything for everyone else because they stop the others from listening to each other. And Discovery, I just can't care anymore because, I mean, when I first found out, because I grew up watching Star Trek, I loved Star Trek, it was my escape from, I had not the best life for a few years, being severely bullied and other problems than that. And it really was my escape, and I really believed in this future that Gene Roddenberry created, this utopian world where humanity had evolved and society had evolved, and we were just exploring space and going out and teaching other races basically how to not be a-holes when we encountered them, and they got up to a-holiness. And I liked that. I liked believing in this better future and this philosophy, and I sort of viewed it as almost like a religion. And I think a lot of Star Trek fans did. And that's why you get jokes on Futurama like the Church of Star Trek and all this sort of stuff. Because people need philosophy and idealism and ideals in their life and morals. And those lessons, those things are important. And Star Trek did that really well. And as lame as it is, like the episodes they did where they talked about drug addiction, I listened to those as a kid, and they helped me to decide not to take drugs and not to drink and do stuff like that. And yeah, it's lame, but you know what? If it means I have a friend who, same thing, he watched the same episodes, same stuff I did, and he came to the same conclusions, and he doesn't take drugs like all our friends, a lot of them who got effed up. And maybe it is lame, yeah, but you know what? If that message gets through to a few people, why not? A lot of people attacked Gene in the first couple of years of the show because he did a lot of things like that, but I think they're all worth it. But yeah, so on to Discovery. Stay on track, Stephen. Yeah, I just don't care anymore. I don't hate. I just nothing it. I just realised I sort of had one last little rant when I saw the people getting their goodie bags that they sold out Star Trek for. I got annoyed with them. I did a video on that. But then I actually started looking at the episode, and I was like, I just don't care. I mean, basically the whole episode was the Michael Burnham show. It's all Michael Burnham, all her, and another person of colour, basically just running around for an hour in Iceland with no real sets, no real effects, nothing really, just bargain basement. Let's just get some people in some really basic costuming, which could be any sci-fi show, any character from any science fantasy show, because Star Trek isn't science fiction anymore. New Trek is science fantasy, which has no... I can't even go there. But that's just it. I'm just exhausted by it and done by it. It's just like, I'm not angry enough to rant about it anymore. And I didn't even rant that much. I mean, you look at people like Doomcock and Mecha Random and Nerdrotic, the way they went on back in the day, and they got a lot of attention for that. Like, I was kind of shocked, and I don't know if this is accurate, but Nerdrotic was saying how when he started off doing his reviews of Star Trek Discovery and stuff like that, he only had 300 subscribers. I'm like, I had more than that when I started. And he's got 300,000, and my first channel got cancelled after 1,000 or so, and I had to start again, and I've only got like 500. I'm like, wow, tapping into that sort of, those hate clicks in the way that him and Doomcock and people like that do, has been really lucrative. And I don't begrudge them that, because in theory, I could have done the same thing and could have got the same amount of attention if I'd done the same things they did in theory. I guess you only sort of need one of each of these people, and people are just going to find the one person they're comfortable with. But I don't want to be that person anyway. So I'd rather have, because I'm struggling to answer some of the messages. I do like comments, but some of the people are just attacking me, and I have to argue with them and defend myself. And I'm like, wow, I'm only getting 10 or 20 people, or 5, 10, 15 people on a video maybe, but half of them are just insulting me and attacking me, and it takes time to respond to them. And some of my videos in the past where I got like hundreds, it was exhausting. And I'm like, wow, imagine if you actually had thousands of subscribers and had just thousands of comments every day, and most of them were people attacking you and criticizing you. You wouldn't even be able to find the comments or the interesting people you want to talk to or get to know as part of your community. So I'm not that bothered. I'd like to have a few more subscribers, but I don't need to be them. So I'm fine with that. I made my peace with that. But I'm doing it for fun. I like being able to express my own opinion, because I think some people are really just saying what their base wants to hear, because they have to get that next video up to get the next hate click. So they get that, advertising money, because now they depend on it. I'm never going to have that problem. So I'm glad I can say what I want. I can talk. You hear people saying, saying the coof because they can't mention COVID because they'll get demonetized. I can say whatever I want. It's freedom. I like it. But I just don't care enough about it. I can't believe I live in a world where the latest Star Trek series, the premiere is on Netflix right now. I think it would have come on, if it was the same as the last two seasons, it would have came up around 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, somewhere around that time frame in Australia. So a couple of hours ago it became available, and I didn't care. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to. I've already seen it, but it wasn't the best quality, obviously. But I just have no desire, and it's like, wow, it doesn't matter to me. I don't need to watch this show. There's nothing I need to watch this show for. What do I need to watch? Some Mary Sue character, some what is it when you have you're wanting attention for doing the right thing, virtue signaling, gender politicking, race baiting character, and not attaching any of that to the actress. She seems absolutely wonderful in person. I've seen interviews and that, and people have met her and that. She seems really nice, but her character is just the result of all these agendas and things that just serve no artistic or entertainment value. That like this, what would I want to watch this for? I mean, I was genuinely upset when I found out that this show, which is supposed to be the canon continuation, well, prequel of Star Trek, and in this, it's supposed to be canon. They destroyed the Federation. They destroyed Gene Roddenberry's Starfleet. He created his this ideal, this utopia is gone now. Now everyone is living in this Mad Max future where they're all fighting. Capitalism is back. They're all fighting. It's basically, they've taken Star Trek and Starfleet and that utopian vision future back to what we have today. I'm like, why would I want to watch that? I can just, that's the world we live in. Where is the escape? Star Trek doesn't offer an escape or anything to aspire to or want to be a part of. I don't want to be on that ship. I don't want to be in that future. I don't want to hang out with those people. I would kill to be in the 21st century with Kirk and Spock and Uhura and Sulu. I never really liked Chekhov. Scotty, Rand, hell, even Chapel. But I wouldn't want to spend a day with any of the characters from Discovery. I mean, why? There's nothing. I mean, the not Sulu Asian guy's kind of cute, actually. But aside from him looking really cute in his uniform, there's really no reason I'd want to be on that ship. I wouldn't, why do I want to be there? I have no, and it's just so sad. I sort of sitting there like, oh, that's right, that's on Netflix. Why would I waste 50 minutes of my day where I could be watching repeats of Fraggle Rock or sorting out my Transformers and working out which ones I still need to buy? I mean, why would I take a second of any of those things that give me pleasure, or at least don't aggravate me or make me depressed, for 50 minutes of Michael Burnham being the greatest thing in the universe for no reason, running around. All the episode is just them running around on a planet, which was cheap. It's not Star Trek. Why would I mean, there's a million science fiction shows with a bunch of actors running around in a Mad Max universe in the same outfits, the same clothes, all looking like they come off the set of the same sci-fi. It's just generic science fiction. It's just, they're all the same. We've got to save money, so we'll just film it on location, and we create an environment that's basically just a destroyed world, so we can just use old factories and stuff as our locations, and so people walking around, because all we need to do is just dress up a few places that are supposed to look desolate, and that's it. That's all we get. That's what Star Trek is now. Why would I want to watch it? And it's just so sad. I'm just like, wow, this is just such a sad state, and I don't even care anymore. It's dead. I mean, if they would establish that this is an alternative universe and the old Star Trek universe with Starfleet is intact, I'd be very happy. The fact they're not doing that doesn't mean it's not true, because the reality is the Red Angel did so much with the timeline. There's no way that is the original intact timeline that we sort of encountered at the start of the series, in theory. So as far as I'm concerned, Discovery is an alternative universe. Picard is the future of that alternative universe. That's why we have the old Enterprise, their old Enterprise from the Discoveryverse, not the original Enterprise, in that episode of Picard in Starfleet, where he goes in and they have the holographic models of the ships, and you see the Discovery, the Discoverse Enterprise instead of the Disco Prize, instead of the real Enterprise. So I'm kind of okay to say it's its own universe. It's a dark alternative universe, kind of like the Mirror Universe, but not as bad, and I can just ignore it. And if they just keep that in its pocket universe, and at some point return to the old Star Trek universe and produce shows from that universe that people actually want to see, I can live with that. But yeah, I just had that moment of, wow, I don't care about this. It means nothing to me. It's not worth it, and it made me sad, because Star Trek used to be the most important thing in my life, pretty much, for a while there, and really meant a lot to me, and it still does, because it still exists. This doesn't erase the old Star Trek, but it certainly diminishes it in general to the public, because people who don't know the difference think this is Star Trek now. They're going to watch it and go, why would I watch this? It's exactly the same as all the other cheap science fiction, which is just a bunch of people stuck on a planet which is desolate and dystopian and miserable, and why would I want to be there? I'll give it one season, now it's boring. That's why all the shows get cancelled after a year or two. They're hurting the brand. They've taken what's special about Star Trek away, and people are not going to follow it the same. And the brass, the studio, the suits, they won't know the difference. They'll just go, oh, Star Trek doesn't rate, the fans don't care, nobody cares, let's just stop making it. Because they're not going to blame the right people and realise, oh, they were doing it wrong. If we do it the way Star Trek originally was, then the same level of interest will come back, and the same level of fans who really want to live in this future and want to keep the show alive will come and support us and pay us money and make us rich like they used to in the 80s and 90s and noughties, the start of the noughties. They're not going to see that. They're just going to go, ugh, Star Trek, why bother? And they're killing the franchise. I don't know how it's going to go, if it's really going to end that way, but I think that's what's going to happen. They're just going to alienate all the original fans. The new fans won't care enough about it, because there's nothing about it that's special or unique that you need to follow it or fight for it or want to maintain it and keep it in your life. So it's just going to keep being it's not very successful, and that's just going to be seen as what Star Trek is. And I don't think the people are smart enough to make the distinction between old Trek, new Trek, what they changed, what they didn't, and how it could be fixed and how it could actually be successful and valuable and worthwhile again. So I'm a bit worried that this is going to be the death, the death rattle, I guess, of Star Trek, and it's just going to fade out. And Kurtzman's just going to suck every last bit of money out of it that he can from his lucrative deals, and then move on to the next thing and not care that he just destroyed this franchise, and probably no one else. I'm still hopeful that someone else will get a hold of the franchise and bring it back on track. but I'm scared it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to focus on the old Star Trek, and I'm going to keep doing reviews and just document what's happening and continue to protest on some level. But I've lost the passion for it, because you just can't stay angry and bitter about stuff like that, because it's just damaging and hurtful. So, I'm not going to cry about that. I nearly cried in one of my reviews when I was talking about how they destroyed Gene's vision, like as an artist, seeing another artist's work destroyed by another person who's not an artist or not a creative, who just is a businessman trying to make money out of a license. It was really heartbreaking, and I had to control myself from not crying on camera, because then the haters will just be like, "Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy fanboy tears." I'm going to go. I'm ranting now. I'm rambling. I'm going to go focus on things that make me happy. Feel free to share, comment, and subscribe. That will make me happy. Bye.